Hi, first grade readers, Mr. Ouija here, and today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit more about the strategy chunking. Now, from the very beginning of first grade, you guys have been learning how to break big words into smaller pieces, chunking them so that you can sound out each little chunk and put them together. Now, did you know that there isn't just one way of chunking words? When you chunk it the first time and it still doesn't sound right, there are different ways that you can chunk the word. Readers don't say, oh, that doesn't sound right, I'm just going to move on. They make sure that they chunk the longer word different ways until they get it right, until they make sense. And I'm going to show you what that looks like today.
This page is from a book about a salmon who likes to leap. And this is the first page of the first chapter. Let me read it to you. And I'm going to get stuck on a word. From the beginning, she was uh-oh. Seems like I'm stuck. It's okay. Instead of being stuck, I'm going to make sure that I use a strategy. Now, this word is quite long. So I'm going to use chunking. So let me write down the word over here. I've written down the word over here. Now I'm going to try to break it up. Now in first grade, your teacher probably taught you that when you are chunking words, you spot the vowels. So here, I'm going to spot the vowels. I is a vowel, E is a vowel, E is a vowel. So now that I've spotted the vowels, I'm going to chunk it. D, here you go. Fe, ren. Now let me sound it out. D, I, D, fe, ren, t. Deferent. Deferent. Let me go back and just try deferent. From the very beginning, she was deferent. That doesn't sound right. You know what? Instead of moving on, I'm going to carry on and try to figure out this word until it sounds right. So I'm going to chunk it a different way. Here, I'm going to still leave the vowels there so that I can remember where to chunk it. So why don't I do this? Diff, fur, int. Instead of ending at the vowels, I'm going to make sure that I read to the end of the vowel to this consonant. Starting from this consonant, I'm going to read through the vowel to this consonant, and I'm going to start with this vowel, and I'm going to read it right to the end. Now I'm going to chunk it. D, I, f, diff, f, r, fur, ent. Different. Different. That sounds like a word I know. From the beginning, she was different. The moment she hatched from her tiny pink egg, she tried to leap, but she couldn't. That makes sense to the story. Different. Now, readers, did you see how I tried to chunk it the first time and it didn't work and it still didn't sound right? But instead of giving up and moving on, I made sure I chunked it in a different way the second time. What I also did was I wrote down the word big on a separate piece of paper or whiteboard if you have it. That way I can experiment chunking it in many different ways. Now let's look at this page over here. Here is a page all about blue whales, and specifically about the teeth of a blue whale. Now I'm going to read this page to you and I'm going to get stuck. Then we're going to try to solve the word. A blue whale has uh-oh, I'm stuck. Alright, I'm going to use a separate space and I'm going to write out the word. Now I'm going to spot the vowels so that I know where to chunk. Hang on a second. There is a chunk that I know here. Ball. B-A-L. Ball. So I know that chunk already. Ball. Now, all I have to do is chunk the last part with the vowels. Een. Ball-een. A blue whale has ball-een. That doesn't sound like a word, and it doesn't sound like a word that I know. You know what? Instead of stopping, I'm going to chunk it a different way. Here is a vowel, so I'm going to stop my first chunk after the A. And then I'm going to start my second chunk from the L right to the N. B-A. Bay, lean. Lean. Baleen. A blue whale has baleen in its mouth. Baleen is like stiff hair. I think that sounds right. Now readers, because this is an expert word, it might be a word that I have never heard of before, but I've tried to chunk it in different ways. Now, if it comes to an expert word and you try to chunk it in many different ways and you still don't know if it sounds right, make sure you save that in your brain. And then afterwards, see if you can ask a family member, a friend, any kind of adult to double check and cross check to see if this word is the word that you try to chunk. Alright readers, today you've learned that when readers are chunking, they try to chunk many different ways until the word sounds right. Now it's over to you. Off you go. Have a go. Good luck.